Hey there, I'm Hope. Today is Friday, October 9th, and I am recording this video because I'm doing this as a pseudo introduction to what is going to be a long-term project of mine. So, starting today, I am challenging myself to build and develop an ebook, market it, and get downloads before the end of 2020. So that gives me the rest of October, all of November, and all of December. So my plan is to build an ebook and probably either, I don't know if I'm going to offer it for free or if I'm going to charge anything for it yet, but probably get 100 downloads before the end of the year. I don't know what it's going to be about yet. I don't have any real information about the brand, the branding, anything like that, but I'm issuing this challenge to myself and we'll see what happens. That's why I'm starting this video now, because I am going in completely blind. I've never done this before. I have worked in marketing for the last probably 5 years or so, either in companies or doing freelance work. I'm primarily freelance now, which has been kind of my main source of income through the year of 2020 in the midst of this coronavirus pandemic. So that's the plan. I'm hoping that at the end of this 90 days, I will have a bunch of footage and I can look back on the journey and learn a lot, as well as show people that maybe it can't be done or maybe it can be done, and hopefully it'll be a really good learning experience for whoever watches this when it gets published, probably at the start of 2021. So I'm sure I will look back on this and cringe at some point, but hey, you know what? Everyone's got to start somewhere. So bye for now. So a little bit of background. I am cheating just slightly because I have been brand brainstorming. And so for those of you who don't know, my last name is in fact German, and it means Monday in German, right? So I was like, do I really want to do something under just my brand name? Do I want to do something that talks about, like, incorporates Monday? Do I want to play with my first name because Hope is very punny for a noun and a name? And I really kind of just decided a few months ago that I was going to play with the idea of something that I called Create Monday. So a couple months ago, at this point, I bought the domain name create-monday.com. And I have the Instagram handle create-monday. So I paid $96 for create-monday.com. I paid nothing for create-monday on Instagram. Part of the reason that I went with the dash, even though I know it's not the greatest thing, is because this is the first time that I'm doing this. I didn't want to pay a couple grand to get Create Monday without the dash. So $96 was still a little bit of a scary moment for me to spend it, but I did purchase it. It is a WordPress website. I went with WordPress. And so I have that. And I had initially kind of at least done that, secured the brand domain name, but I haven't really thought about the brand itself and what that's really going to look like. And so since I've decided that I'm doing an ebook, I'm playing with the idea of, okay, so creating a Monday, right? Nobody likes Mondays, but Mondays tend to be the day that, you start your week off. So how do you set the tone for your week? You set the tone for your week with your Monday. And then I also kind of like the idea of creating your Monday, right? So the idea of, what do you want your Monday to look like? How are you going to create your Monday? So in playing with that idea, I think that I'm probably going to do something around the idea of, how do you create your Monday the way that you want it to be? So what does that look like? And I think that I'm probably going to gear this more towards freelancers or people who are looking to freelance, because I've been freelancing for the last 3 years. The past, 8 8 months, 8 or 9 months, I've been freelancing full time. So I know that I at least have some experience to draw on, and I think that I'm probably going to do this as a free ebook to get started, because I think that I'm going to be learning a lot, and so this is a product that I'm going to be testing. And my ultimate goal, like I said earlier, is by December 31st, I want to have 100 downloads. So that means that I still have to, as of October 9th, to hit that 100 download goal, I still have to write the copy for the ebook. I still have to design the ebook. I still have to create the website. I still have to market the ebook. I still have to secure branding officially. I don't have an official logo yet. I only have the name, and I have an idea of what I want the brand colors to look like. So I need to flesh out my target audience and my branding. I need to pretty much do everything. The only thing that I've done ahead of time in starting this initiative is buying the only thing that I've done ahead of time with this initiative is buying the domain and securing the Instagram handle. I'm on the fence about Facebook. I'm definitely not going to do Twitter. And I don't know that I'm going to do a company in LinkedIn. I think that I may just market it under my LinkedIn account. These are all things that I haven't thought about yet, but I think that I'm really going to focus on freelancing, what it takes to sort of get started, and what it really means to do the freelance thing, right? So how to best handle freelance in general. And I think the main focus for this ebook is really going to be on freelancing. I like the idea of creating your Monday, right? So what does it look like to create your Monday the way that you want it to be? I also like the idea of, this is a fresh start, right? So for some people, maybe it's a side hustle. Maybe for some people, they've been pushed into full-time freelancing as a necessity and they're not really sure what they're doing. And I hope that maybe this will help. Some of the lessons that I've learned over the last 3+ years of me doing this. Again, it started mostly as a side hustle and has now become my full-time thing. And I'm looking to branch out beyond that because I think that I want to challenge myself more. Now that I'm comfortable in freelancing, I think it's important for me to challenge myself more.
All right. Good morning. It's me. It is October 13th. It's a Tuesday. So one of my goals for this weekend was to have the outline done for the ebook on Sunday. Unfortunately, I fell ill this weekend. So most of Sunday was kind of a moot point for me. I didn't get a whole lot done. I did spend some time creating my outline yesterday, but I took yesterday pretty easy because I wasn't feeling the best. So I didn't record anything from that because, again, I just was not feeling well, but I do have my outline done. I did do my my brand persona as well, which I will share. And so a lot of the thought with the brand persona, one thing that I really love is obviously thinking of it as a real person. So the idea of if your brand walked into a room, what would she or he or they look like? So for me, my brand persona would look put together. Definitely almost business casual, but not quite. So hair and makeup are done. She's nicely dressed, ready to meet anyone and everyone because everyone could be an opportunity, right? So very friendly demeanor. She'd be probably in her 20s and just trying to figure out how to stay away from being chained to a corporate desk. That's kind of the person that I want to target for Create Monday, specifically with this book, or ebook, I should say. So if one of my customers, aka someone who downloaded this ebook, had the chance to meet my brand persona, how would they greet each other? They would probably hit it off with some personal chit chat and then very quickly realize that the two of them had business in common, and then they would dive into the discussion of client work and how to gauge whether they could work together or refer opportunities to each other, so on and so forth. So the conversation would be very casual and friendly, and it would take place probably in a coffee shop or a co-working site, a place where you would meet somebody who is working remotely or on their own schedule. When saying goodbye, what kind of expectations are there for future conversation? There's definitely an expectation. I just realized there's a typo. There's definitely an expectation for an ongoing conversation in the form of regular check-ins and potential referrals. Definitely just like a, hey, how are you? Definitely thinking about you. How's business going? So on and so forth. Just definitely those constant touch points to keep them within your network, or their network, I should say. What kind of things are the brand persona interested in? What are their hobbies? What do they care about? They're super interested in developing themselves personally and professionally. They deeply care about success and are trying to find the best way to achieve their version of success. So that was really an important point for me, because it's their version of success, right? It's not the textbook definition of success. If their version of success is growing a YouTube channel to 100,000 subscribers for their everyday vlogs, that's great. If their version of success is having, high dollar clients and working 50 hours a week, that's also great. It's their version of success. Whatever their version of success is, that's what they're driven to achieve. I also like to think that they would read and exercise, so that they're constantly making sure that their mind and their body are in the right position to be able to do the things that they want to do and be able to have the success that they want to have. That's kind of a flex point for me, I should say. If I really had to get rid of something that they care about, it would probably be those things. But for me, I think it's important to include, because I think that that's definitely part of who I want to target, is the people who are driven enough to take care of themselves enough to be able to put forth the work for their own success. They try to find ways to continue to grow themselves and their clientele, and hopefully find a way to make it a business. So again, the idea is that they're doing freelance now and they're trying to find a way to make it a business, but they need to get the freelancing down first. And then I really love giving a persona a name. So I always like giving the persona a name, because then it definitely makes them real. And I felt like Sophie really kind of spoke to my persona. So when I'm marketing to Sophie, or when I'm writing this book for Sophie, it's easier to think about it that way for me personally. So that's just one of those things that I kind of picked up on in my years of experience, I guess. My years of working, I should say. So that's one of those things that I really stuck to, because for me it helps me to visualize. So I did do my brand persona, and I did do my outline. So I'm going to be doing a table of contents, an introduction, so probably just like a, hey, what is this? What's Create Monday? Why do I want this book? What can I expect? And then I'm probably going to like touch on what is freelance, not just like defining freelance, but like what does it really mean to be a freelancer? And then also the side hustle versus full time, what's really right for you. Then the game plan, which is preparing yourself for success, client management 101, and then creating your Monday.
It is October 20th, and I am not quite where I wanted to be with my ebook. I have a few beta readers that I'm going to run it by, but I am working on chapter 3 right now of the 5 chapters for the first draft. And I kind of wanted to be working on the second draft at this point, but I just let other things get in the way. I'm gonna hopefully have the ebook finished before the weekend and then send it out to the people that are going to be beta reading it, and then I can get feedback, finish the draft. I want to try to be at the point where I'm going to have it as something that can be downloaded starting on, like, by the end of the month. So I basically have a week and a half to get this done. Hello and good morning. It is October the 25th in 2020. Almost 20 after 6 in the morning, so my lighting's not great. I'm kind of being lit by my monitor, and I have the lamp on in the back that I can't really not have on, even though it doesn't look great. But you know, I'm not too fussed about it. This is not really meant to be like high production quality. As I'm doing this, it's really just meant to be real, and this is it. This is kind of what I'm working on this project. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the draft that I'm on for this ebook, a little bit about my process, kind of where I'm at, considering I only have 6 days left in the month. So I kind of just blocked it out, realistically speaking, into like title, introduction, chapters 1 through 5. So I did a little introduction. I talked a little bit about what freelance is. I talked, about the side hustle versus full-time, kind of how to decide on what's right for you, to make a game plan, how to prepare yourself for success. I just wrapped this one up yesterday. It's a little bit longer. And then I need to do Client Management 101 and creating your Monday. I think part of my problem is that because I started with an outline, I feel weirdly boxed in, which is probably good for me so that I have constraints. So we're at 4 pages so far. I don't want it to be super long because, again, this is going to be a freebie. Realistically speaking, I'm just a little concerned that this isn't providing any value right now. So I'm going to have somebody read it. I think I might have somebody read kind of where I'm at so far, to be honest with you, to see if it's even providing any level of value. I need to at least It is still the 31st of October, and I just pushed Create Monday live. I pushed it live, and then I made sure that I did a few other behind the scenes things that I definitely forgot to record. Basically, I set up email forwarding from the website through WordPress, which you can do, so that through MailChimp it wasn't coming from my personal email, which is really great. So I have a hope@create-monday.com. So that automation is working so that I have a branded email pretty much. It's live, it's out there. It's a thing. I have shared it with a couple people. I have not posted it on my personal Instagram just yet. And I haven't done anything for the Create Monday Instagram yet. I've got some work to do on the social media front. I also need to create a Facebook business and probably a Facebook page so that I can run Facebook ads and Instagram ads. And so most of that is going to be something that I'm going to be working on tomorrow. I also probably need to get into the back end, not probably, I need to get into the back end of the website. Make sure that I'm SEO optimized as best I can be, and start making content in general for social media, start making ad content, and really start the marketing process. So one of the hiccups that I wasn't really anticipating in this was that I had lined up some beta readers and they didn't get me their feedback back at all. Some of it may come back after today, but in that case, the product's already launched. It's not that I can't unlaunch it or edit it, re-upload and do all of that, but then, you know, the content is already launched at this point. So realistically speaking, I've made something that no one has really told me whether or not it's valuable, essentially. Most of them read it and were like, hey, yeah, this is great. But didn't give me any edits, didn't really give me any meaningful feedback, unfortunately. So I don't know if this really even is going to be valuable for people. But for now, I made my deadline, and that was really the most important thing. That's why I didn't want to wait on feedback from other people, because I did do follow-up. I did ask them for more feedback, and nobody really got back to me because everyone is busy. People have lives, there's a lot going on. So, you know, I don't hold that against anybody else. But I went in and I did all the edits that I could. I actually edited as I formatted the ebook. And so it really is all 100% mine, from my brain, from draft to edit to final. And so is the website and everything else. So that's really cool. And the biggest thing for me was making sure that I met this deadline that I had set. So I did bump up against it, but I made it.